We set the roof on fire. We set the roof on fire. We set the roof. We set the roof. We set the roof on fire. We set the roof. We set the roof. We set the roof on fire.
If I'm not mistaken, home team made it. 2 3s on my feet, then I pump fake.
Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. With a spot in the Super Bowl on the line, everything is on the line in today's conference championship matchup. It's the Jaguars going up against the Raiders. With that, we'll get you out to Oakland. So we'll hand it over to our colleagues, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, after an off-season of questions, football is back here in the East Bay at Oakland, California. Straight ahead, it's a clash to decide the AFC's representative in the Super Bowl. And it'll be a great one between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Oakland Raiders. They'll come out in the pistol. Now a first carry for Latavius Murray. And nothing doing on his first run. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Malik Jackson there to make the stop. Well, sometimes we talk running backs. Sometimes we talk wide receivers. Walford, the tight end in this unit, very important.
Clive Walford, a terrific player. Knows how to work the inside portions of the field, but also can surprise you and get deep.
We ready? Red 18. Red 18. Baby, alert.
Carr to throw on second down. Throw left side to the tight end, Walford. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Every quarterback likes having a reliable target at tight end, and I think young quarterbacks especially, because they want to get the ball in their hands quickly. I think these two, Derek Carr and Clive Walford, that's a pretty good connection for years to come for Oakland.
Yeah, he started to come on strong end of his rookie year. Now the Raiders really hoping for that second-year jump out of Walford. On first down, Murray. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there. Second down. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle.
Here we go. Wide and
Again, it's Murray. And nowhere for him to go again. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down. And this Jacksonville Jaguar defense, Charles, they have a lot riding on the youngster Jalen Ramsey.
As you well know, he was my #1 player coming out of the 2016 draft. I loved his versatility. The big question mark, is he enough of a ball hawk? Didn't have very many interceptions in college, but boy, he does everything else that you want. Runs, hits, wraps up on his tackles. He's going to start on the corner for the Jaguars.
Amari Cooper, the intended target, and it brings up fourth down. So on fourth down, here's Marquette King to punt it away. This one will sail out of bounds. It'll depend on the spot here. And the side judge says that went out at the 7-yard line. And not great starting field position here for the offense. The first carry for the tailback, Jeremy Langford. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. And if this offense is going to flow today, certainly the running back will be a key piece.
Without a doubt, because they asked their runner to not just do that, but to block, to catch, to help set a tone for their offense.
They'll run it now with Juszczyk. And he's brought down. And that one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
I love the modern game, but that was a throwback right there to see the big man with football, running, knocking people aside, and picking up yardage. That takes me back to the 60s, the 70s, when fullbacks ruled the earth.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. First down coming there on the intermediate passing play. That's been a point of emphasis, they told us in practice, using those medium routes to keep the defense off balance.
And it wasn't just them telling us. We got to watch them practice it and work on it because they've been trying to fine-tune it and get it right before this game. And I think they have to be happy with the result.
So the D-line's going to spread out. This is Langford on 1st and 10. And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Time to meet the defensive starters for the Oakland Raiders, and you want to discuss one of their safeties.
I certainly do. Carl Joseph out of West Virginia. Always did a great job policing the middle of the field. A big hitter, knocked the ball away. But really added to his game as last year as a Mountaineer. Became a better cover guy and a better ball hawk before he got injured. They're really going to love him in Oakland.
On 2nd down, Langford. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
When you think of really good teams that play a base 3-4 defense, you'll have to think the defensive line handles a lot of things. Eat up double teams with your nose guard. Your defensive ends are what we call base guys that can hold the point of attack, and they make it very difficult for people to run the football.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
So much of this game is focus and concentration. And whenever I see guys running the in route, I know that in the back of their mind, they're always wondering who's lurking inside that might put a big hit on them as they try and catch the ball.
This is taken around the 12. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the Raiders will take possession. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time, which is punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, it's time for them to give them a rest. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Second down and 4. They go with Murray again. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. They come up in an offset eye. Now Carr with a give to Murray. Always got some breathing room. Latavius Murray. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line.
One of the good things offenses did years ago was they lettered their gaps the same on each side. A gap between guard and center on either side. That's what you want to control when you're trying to run the ball up the middle.
And why is that?
Because typically you either have a big nose guard in there in an odd front, 3-man front, or you have defensive tackles that might line up in the A-gaps trying to gain an advantage and get upfield themselves. If you can control that, it gives the back plenty of space to pick and choose where to go.
And there, a great inside run, broke the contact and got some space. Now a play fake here on first down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
clock winding down. That was second down run for Murray. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Only a yard on the pickup, so a good situation on 2nd and 2. It's now 3rd and 1. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Now a carry here for GoldnStxsE. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
And, partner, in a lot of short yardage situations, you'll see the linebackers step up into the gaps, what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, to make sure they take away all spaces, all creases. That one worked really well for them.
Only needed a yard, instead went backwards. So it's a 7-play drive, but it stalls out in the end.
Let's credit the defensive front 7. They were a little leaky at the start of the drive, but they stiffened toward the end.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And last time out, they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that?
There always is when you're punting the football away. It doesn't sound like it because you're giving it up, but you've avoided a mistake.
At least you didn't turn it over.
You didn't turn it over, right? You're giving your defense a chance because you're punting the ball away, and they're set to go on the field as opposed to sudden change after a turnover. And wow, now we've got to go out there and stop people. So, yeah, there's always something positive to be gained from it.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that is incomplete. Alongside the former defensive back, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Goodwin. Second down here after the incomplete pass. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Well, there's another example of why they haven't scored any points so far. I think it's time to abandon the run game, spread things out, and go to the air. It certainly can't be any worse than what they've done so far.
And this offensive unit, they have to face a 3rd down and 12 now. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And Robinson with a big catch. 18 yards there and a 1st down.
Well, the advantage has certainly shifted to the defense as we began that 3rd down play, and they found a way to foil it and pick up a 1st down.
3rd time's a charm, right? 2 incompletions. Had to have it on 3rd, and they got it.
Yeah, they stuck with it, weren't daunted at all, and picked it up.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. He's got time in the pocket. He's going to try to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by David Anderson. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
toe
that.
Bashed it.
Super toe.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. Carr gives it off to Washington. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I'll bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
All right, here we go.
A toss to Murray. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
They'll get a couple yards on that one, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
So it is 3rd down now, but less than a yard to go.
We ready?
They'll run here. It's Murray. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. The Jaguars offense now heads back onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it.
Now it's out. Langford loses the football. And the Raiders pick it up. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for 6 and a Raider touchdown. Huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
A near turnover, but the offense recovers it. Now they'll try to regroup on 2nd.
Hurry up, here we go.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. Give him 7 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Let's see if they can convert here on 3rd and 3. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to go for a big play. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. They get 39 yards out of that one. And the Jaguars are going to have a 1st and goal.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
They come out here in the eye. So now it's 1st and goal. They'll look to run with Langford. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get them in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back with more of the AFC Championship game after this. Shift together here from the D-line. They'll go with the keeper. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. Now whistles, and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Defense looking to hold serve again. Now the Raiders are going to use another timeout here. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So on 4th down, on comes the Jaguars' Jason Myers now for the field goal try. This will be just a 21-yard attempt. And Myers able to knock it through, and that will tie us at 3-3. So give them 3 there. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they couldn't punch it in.
And credit this defense, too. That was the old bend but don't break approach. But it kept the offense out of the end zone.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with a game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
On 1st down, Carr. Crabtree with it over the middle. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. It'll be a gain of 9, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard. They're going to hurry back to the line now. Carr turns, hands to Murray. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
Carr now on 1st down. Looking for Cooper, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But you also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done. We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Got his man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. Allen Robinson, his 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Jags are able to cash in for 6. And it is up. And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now. After the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Raiders offense, they get set to head back on the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you've got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Got it complete to Crabtree. It's a pickup of 21. And that'll be good for an Oakland first down. And they're going to speed things up here. Now a play fake here on first down. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. So he rolls out of the pocket left, just ends up finding a safety valve, but no gain there.
No gain, but it looked like they were well coached on the play because
and he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And the defense will try and pin their ears back and get pressure again here after the sack. It's third down. Play action. Now it's Carr. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Michael Crabtree, the intended receiver, and it's fourth down. Here's Marquette King now as he's on to punt for Oakland. The kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. And hello, I guess Larry's halftime show was buttoned through. And we are moving on and ready to go for the third quarter. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
They come up in an offset eye. On the counter, Langford. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Partner, I think the easy thing now would be to just abandon the run and start throwing the football at all costs. But I've been in so many games where it doesn't work running the ball. It doesn't work running the ball. And then something pops, and now you've got something going. I'm not so sure to just abandon your game plan this early in the second half.
Finding time. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's third. A pretty good coverage there. And both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it. And in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
And the offense looks to pick up the first here on third after that incompletion. The gun. They'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And fortunately, he's able to reel it back in, but it's going to go down as a big loss here on the play. Here's Brad Nordman now. as he'll kick it away for the second time. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. And taken right on the 30. 42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker board?
Yeah, those two.
Here's Murray. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. They were in the 4-3. Mike linebacker made a great tackle.
And when that happens, generally it means that the guys up front, the 4 down defensive linemen, have absorbed all the blockers and allowed him to run free to the football. He ends up with a textbook tackle.
Offense still needing 10 yards. Second down. Here's Carr. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble.
Plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Third and long, it's Carr. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his second of the game. Instead, fourth down. Here's Marquette King now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They'll try to get the ground game going with Langford. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up second and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
The lone setback is Langford. He's going to get the football. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down. Great play there off the end. Question, Charles, in a 4-3, you hear about the D tackles a lot. What's the role of the ends?
What they want to do is control the edges of the defense. And you always hear about an offense talking about setting the edge in the running game. Well, the defense wants to do exactly the same thing. And the defensive end, often against an offensive tackle, sometimes a tight end, they can't let themselves get a hook and let a running back get outside, because if they do that, that hurts the integrity of the defense overall.
My man, the encyclopedia. Here's Brad Nordman now, standing just about on his own goal line. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Take it at the 37. It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area. Receivers work all the time on making sure they catch the ball, haul it into their bodies before they turn and run. A little bit of loss of focus on that play.
We ready?
to the air on second down. It's Carr. Wide open receiver complete. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
Okay, when the big guy runs a corner route, you're asking a lot no matter who's covering him. Doesn't matter whether it's a linebacker or a defensive back. He usually has the advantage because of his body type.
A handoff. It's Murray fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. A gain of 3, second down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks, allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Second down following the run. To throw his Carr. Caught left side to Crabtree. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd and 1. Still in search of the first down after that last completion. They come out here in the eye. On 3rd and short to give to the tight end. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. So it'll be first down here after the run. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. On first, here's Washington. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
There's so many things that go into playing the position of linebacker. Some of them are actually subtle. Doing the drill work that you do all the time in practice and carrying it over to the game. Get rid of blockers and get to the ball carrier and knock him down for a loss.
One receiver to the left is Cooper. Now Carr throwing on second down. Oh, he almost had it. Already with 1 interception, just missing his second there.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way, so he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it, just move on to the next play.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He hit his first one, this from 44 yards out now.
As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable. Usually an excellent target and normally catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, but the net gain, 3 points.
And you're going to have drives like that in this league. Sometimes you just got to take the 3 and move on. Always better than nothing.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it.
It's caught inside the 25. A big 3rd down play there for the Jags. 52 yards.
So let's go ahead and add to the difficulties of guys trying to cover receivers. They got to deal with speed, shiftiness, all that stuff. But how about when they have height and length and deep downfield? You throw the ball up in the air. That's how they uncover at the end of a route, by being able to go up over the top and make a big catch.
A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
There's so many definitions of a complete back. I think most people think a guy who can block, a guy who can catch, and a guy who can run. But how about when you put it all together as a runner and you can fake people out, you can be shifty, and also run with some power and break tackles, as we just saw on that pickup.
Flushed out right, and they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
Let's go! 3-19!
They'll try and run for it. This is Juszczyk. And he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. Back now in the East Bay. It's Jaguar football here, and they'll look to extend their lead as we begin quarter number 4. So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs. The lone setback is Langford. He'll get the football here. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. And in this situation with a lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll just throw this one over in the way of the security crew. Incomplete here.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's sensed being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. So a 2nd down incompletion now brings up 3rd down. From the shotgun, he'll look. And look at this. And look out. I think he's going to go. Picked off by David Amerson. He's at the 30, 10, 5, and he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism, because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on, come on.
Fine. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Surveying the field. And this will be caught at the 30. It's a big play for the Jaguars. 44 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there. You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And his throw is incomplete. And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the second down incompletion.
3rd and 5, so they bring in an extra defensive back.
Expecting pass. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And that is incomplete.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
And Myers able to knock it through. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. Well, you talk about clutch right down the pipe, and this game's all even here in the 4th.
And he didn't leave much doubt there, did he? Good snap, good hold, and that one was dead center.
And now here come the Raiders. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking. But the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Murray the lone setback. And they'll give it to him here. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. They'll get nothing out of that one, and it's going to lead to a 3rd down.
But it was stopped on that play. He's had plenty of carries all afternoon. Every now and then the defense is going to win one, but I don't think they'll shy away from handing it to him the rest of the game.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Carr looking to throw on 3rd and 2. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jonathan Cyprien. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
That was an interception, but on the field, the guys who are picking it off, they're not saying that. What word are they using? It's Oski. And that means catch the ball and go the other way.
That's your vernacular. I've never heard anybody say Oski.
Ask around. They'll tell you.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. They'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Over the middle here to Brown. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. On 2nd down, here's Carr. And he rifles one incomplete. They were trying to get it to DeAndre Washington. And that'll make it 3rd down.
And there's a good opportunity that just went awry there. A drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
one, but incomplete. Latavius Murray, the intended receiver, out of the backfield. And that'll bring up a 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the right hash, it's a 46-yard attempt. And Bullock will put this one through, and that'll bring him back within 4. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I guess they're thinking their hands were tied, but in the 4th quarter, that field goal, it really might not help them much at all.
Yeah, I mean, you still need a touchdown. Another field goal does you no good, so it'll be interesting to see what the media reaction is if the score stays where it is.
Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Time is starting to run out, really becoming a factor. We'll see if the defense can get the stop they need to get the ball back to the offense. Now it's Langford. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. Well, they'll take that every time with a lead. 1st down, 4th quarter, getting 8 yards. You love that.
They will take it, and you have to ask the defensive guys, why did you give it? I mean, you know the situation. You're down, have to stop them, have to get the football back. But 8 yards on 1st down puts them back on their heels.
Here's Langford. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Getting late in the 4th now, Charles. 2-minute warning just around the corner.
Yeah, some teams just want to get to that spot, take a breath, and then come out and attack for the rest of the game.
Time for a break. Back to wrap up the AFC Championship game after this. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Looking left side, and it's complete. 15 yards through the air and a 1st down.
He went full scale, loose, flexible, finding a way to catch the ball in some traffic for a key 1st down.
Yeah, really a nice job of adjusting to the ball in the air. Not the most accurate of throws, but able to adjust and make the grab. So the offense has it 1st and 10. Langford again, busy man this afternoon. Now whistles, and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Offense needs something here on 2nd down. It is 2nd and long. The lone setback is Langford. He's going to get the football. And a good swarm to the... Now the Raiders are going to use another timeout here. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Back to throw here. Fighting through. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. They come out here in the eye. After the penalty, it's Langford. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Now hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. And they'll run it here. Oh, no, he lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. 7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. run with a backup. It's Chris Ivory. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? Almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility?
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. Now with just 1 second showing on the play clock, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Here's Brad Nordman now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Out of bounds as he appeared to be looking for the corner. He got it. They're going to mark this at the 4-yard line. The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make it an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air and people in the end zone in a cluster. It's that guy that's short of the end zone.
And that's caught inside the 35. A big play there. Carter Cooper, 62 yards. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you were wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
And that'll close the books on the conference championship. For Charles Davis, myself, Brandon Gaudin, and our entire crew, we'll talk to you in 2 weeks from the Super Bowl.